Hey y'all, I'm Paula Deen, and I've got a crazy busy day ahead of me and an even bigger weekend because I'm gonna be having weekend house guests, and I'm trying to get all my cooking done before they get here. First, I'm gonna be cooking up some little loaves of zucchini bread that I like to offer to my guests in a gift basket. Some cold cucumber salad that goes perfect with conversation and afternoon tea. And I think they're gonna love an award-winning crab soup. This blue crab earned a blue ribbon, y'all. And you can't have the savory without the sweet. So, a French coconut pie make the perfect treat. Now, I wanna spend this weekend with my guests, so why don't you and I get to cooking? Because Southern hospitality is the order of the day. Hey, y'all. I'm just busy as a cat covering it up today because I'm getting ready for house guests. And one of the things that I want to send home with them is some zucchini bread. So why don't we get to cooking? All we have to do is just stir in our sugar to our flour and our cinnamon, our nutmeg, and salt, and baking soda. Gonna give that a quick stir. All right. Now I've got 4 eggs here that I'm gonna just beat them with a fork where they're kind of turn a nice soft light yellow. Now we're just gonna add some water along with our oil. Y'all know what I'm saying when I say oil, don't you? I have a lot of people kidding me about what is oil. That's O-I-L. All right, now we're gonna take a zucchini. I have washed him, but we're just gonna grate him. We're gonna need about 2 cups of zucchini. You know, I've always heard that house guests and fish have a lot in common. After about 3 days, they both start to stinking. And I'm gonna try not to let my guests start stinking. Now I'm gonna take a lemon and squeeze a little juice over that zucchini, you know, and that prevents things from turning dark on you, like that. So we're just gonna pile all that into our other ingredients. Isn't that zucchini pretty, pretty, pretty? And I just love it with the peelings on. So we're just gonna mix this up, and then I'll add the nuts last. All right, now I'm gonna fold in our nuts. And I'm using walnuts. You can use pecans or any of a macadamia would be real good. But you can use just whatever your favorite nut is. And you can see how easy this batter was for us to mix up. All right, now I'm gonna lightly spray our pan with a nonstick spray. These make the neatest breads for giveaways at Christmas time. I love making homemade goodie baskets for friends. Now I've chosen today to make mine in the little mini pans because they're, to me, just the right size. If you make a whole loaf of bread, there's a good chance it'll go stale before you eat it all. And I just like being able to pull out little loaves, and it's just enough for 2 people for 1 meal or 1 snack. Depending on what time of year it is, like around Thanksgiving and in the fall, I love making pumpkin bread. You know, it just really depends on what the season is as to what fruit or vegetable you can put in this bread. Okay, these are ready. Like I said, I'm gonna throw these into the oven, 350 preheated oven, and I'm gonna bake them for about 45 minutes. That's good batter. Tastes like banana nut bread. Now, as I said, I've got some I had put in the oven earlier, and I put them on the counter to cool. So let's see what we've got here. These are nice and cool. Look at there. Anything worth having is worth a little work. Look how pretty these are. Well, I'm gonna leave those sitting there because I wanna start our cucumber salad next. So I'm gonna take 2 cucumbers, and I have peeled them, and I'm gonna slice them real thin. My grandmama and my mother always made a cucumber salad, and it's so good. want to keep these as thin as I can. A mandolin will work real well for this. All right, throw that end piece away because sometimes those can tend to be bitter on the ends. So I'm going to toss this in here. You can see the moisture when you cut them. It's already, the water is wanting to rise to the surface. But this salt is going to help pull that water out of them a little quicker. So, all right, a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of vinegar. Now I'm going to transfer this to a colander so it won't sit in that water. It can start draining. But I'm going to set these to the side now and let that water drain. And I think I'm going to just have to try one of these cakes because, you know, I made plenty. So let's see what we've got. Now I've mixed up an herb type cream cheese. Now you can use softened butter, but you can bet one thing, I'll have plenty different options for my guest to try. This is out of this world. You're gonna love it. When we come back, I've got a friend, Wayne, who gave me a recipe for some wonderful crab soup. You're gonna love it. It's got a lot of ingredients, but it's got a heck of a lot of flavor too. So I'll look forward to seeing y'all back in the kitchen.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
I can't quit eating the zucchini bread. It's so good. All right, now I promised y'all crabs, and crabs it is. And we still got a lot to do. Look at all these ingredients up here. But don't let it scare you. I gotta finish the cucumber salad. But before I do that, I've got 4 quarts of boiling water up here. And I'm gonna add to it beef bouillon granules. You can use the little cubes. And some chicken bouillon granules. An Old Bay, which I just do love. Some Worcestershire sauce. A little sugar. A couple of bay leaves. And some salt. Now, I was telling y'all a little bit about my friend, Wayne Brock. All right, now, Wayne tells us to take whole crabs and cut them in 2. So we're gonna slip those down in there. These are beautiful blue crabs. Look at those claws. It's just beautiful. All right, we're gonna stick those down in there. Now I've got one more to cut. And I'm just gonna take the knife and hammer through him just like that. I'm gonna remove his little face. Oh, see the yellow stuff? See that gold stuff? Now some people don't eat that, but when I'm eating blue crab, I just love that rich crab flavor. And I'm gonna take that juice from those crabs and I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in there. All right, so I'm gonna let that cook for a few minutes. Now I'm changing this recipe just a little bit because Wayne puts his crabs in there and he leaves them the whole time he's cooking everything else. But I wanna eat those crabs, so I don't want them overcooked. So I'm gonna let them cook for about five or so minutes, and then I'm gonna pull them out and add my other ingredients, and then we'll add the crabs back to the pot when everything else is done. And now I just wanna wash my hands. So let's move on and finish our cucumber salad. I think I'm gonna lay these on a paper towel because I don't want our mayonnaise and our sour cream to be soupy. So I'm just gonna toss this around to get as much of that water off of it as we can. All right. Now I'm gonna add mayonnaise, 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, and 1/4 cup of sour cream. and a tablespoon of fresh chopped dill. And I'm gonna add, I think, some black pepper to it. Gonna give that a quick stir. And then we're just gonna put this in the refrigerator. And like I said, this will be wonderful. It's just a light snack. And this is even wonderful on bread. I love a little cucumber sandwich. Mmm. It's yummy. So, we'll tuck that in there. And we're gonna finish up Wayne's crab soup. And maybe some zucchini bread. You can see how quickly that crab cooks. All right, I'm gonna take these out. I don't want them to overcook. The shells have already turned a pinkish orange for us. All right, now I'm gonna add the rest of the ingredients to our pot. I'm using fresh green beans. You can certainly use a canned. I don't recommend frozen green beans though. That's one of those vegetables that just is not meant to be frozen. Now, for your butter beans, you can use fresh, but frozen are just as good. And I'm adding frozen whole kernel corn. Now you can use canned on that, but I love the frozen kernels. To me, they're as good as the fresh also. All right, now I'm using fresh diced celery, fresh sliced carrots. I've got a cup of diced cabbage that I'm adding now, and diced yellow onions. All right, now I've got fresh red potatoes that I've diced. Add those to the pot. And just diced canned tomatoes. For now, we're gonna cover this and let it cook 15 or 20 minutes, but I've got a pot of vegetables right over here ready because I'm actually making a bunch of this for the weekend because we're gonna go through this like crazy. So I'm gonna add the crabs to our stock and our vegetables. You know, I think this is about the only soup that you may need a claw cracker to eat. So, okay, now I've got our store-bought pre-sorted lump crab meat. Look how pretty that is. And you'll want to make sure that you've picked all your crab free of the shells. All right, and then I'm going to add our claw meat, which you can see is a darker meat. And this is store-bought too. All right, and I'm going to add our parsley. Look at that. Now, I'm gonna add just a little Texas Pete. Then I'm gonna have my bottle out so people that like more heat can kick it up themselves at the table. So now I'm gonna cover this and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. I wanna make sure that that crab meat is good and hot in there. But when we come back, I bet it's gonna be soup. And guess what else it's gonna be? Coconut pie. So y'all don't go anywhere.
I hope y'all are enjoying the show, and I want to hear from you. Tell me what recipes or videos you'd like to see me make by just leaving a short comment below. Now, let's get back to the show, y'all.
Some of my oldest and dearest friends are coming to spend the weekend with Michael and me, so I'm gonna make a French coconut pie. Now, I've got a half a stick of melted butter here in my saucepan, and I'm gonna add some sugar, and a little bit of flour, and a cup of grated sweetened coconut, a couple of eggs, and I'm just gonna mix this up. And then my last ingredient that I'm gonna add is milk. That phone has been ringing off the hook this morning. My phone almost never rings. but it's been ringing like crazy this morning. That's always the way it is, though, when you're busy and don't have time to talk on the phone. You're trying to get ready for company, trying to get everything done, and that's when everybody decides they're going to call you. All right. Now we've got our custard mixed up. I'm just going to pour this into our store-bought pie shell. I'm going to put this in a preheated 400-degree oven, and I'm going to walk ever so gently with this pie. I mean, it's full, isn't it, y'all? But I'm going to bake this probably between 45, 50, and 60 minutes. I think we made it. And you can see I've got a bowl of fresh whipped cream here, and I've got another pie that's cooled back here. This is what I've been waiting for. Oh, the aroma. I wish y'all were here with me. The aroma's just wonderful. Oh, wee. And I've got to have a piece of that crab. I'm going to strain some of that. Whoa, am I pouring it out? I've got me too much. There we go. I think this is just perfect for the soup. Certainly made a mess, though. That's what happens when I get excited and hungry and ready to taste. This is just such a fun bowl right here. I just love that. The pie's nice and cool. And the thing I love about this pie is you don't have to refrigerate it. I'll just put it under a glass dome, and so it'll be right there on the counter for the girls, and they won't even have to look for it. It'll just be there waiting on them. If you'll take your scissors and just snip through that foil, just like that, and you can see it will lay down, allowing you to get your spatula underneath it. And it comes out perfectly. I'm going to put just a little taste of whipped cream on my piece of pie. And I don't know about y'all, but I love coconut and chocolate together. I wish they were here to have the first taste with me, but they're not. Oh my goodness. It's so delicious. And then we've got this coconut pie. I love it, love it, love it. We're gonna gain weight this weekend. I can just feel it. Y'all stick around, I got a few tips to share with you before we have to leave each other today and before I have to run. So I'll see y'all back in a few minutes. So good.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
Now, when my girlfriends come to visit, I love to make it as easy as possible on them. So I'm going to have them a gift basket with everything in it to get them going that morning. I'm going to put zucchini bread in there, and I'm just going to tie it up in a pretty napkin and just bind it with a ribbon. Now, I've gotten them a basket, and I'm using another napkin. I've got them a bag of potpourri. I'm going to put them a bag of coffee, and I'm going to put them some tea, and I'm going to put in some peanut butter. I'm going to put in different sugars for their coffee. I'm going to put in a spread for their bread. And then my favorite is the little sugar sticks. I'm gonna stick in and they can sweeten their coffee with this. And I think that this is gonna assure me that my friends are gonna come back to see old Paula again. Well, I can't believe that I got everything done with a few minutes to spare. I'm sitting here waiting for the girls to pull up. I got the zucchini bread. I got that wonderful crab soup. I got the cucumber salad. And I got that fabulous coconut pie. And I hope that some of these ideas will flow over into your own life and you'll enjoy the heck out of them. So until next time, y'all, I send you best dishes in love from our kitchen to yours.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.